For the second part of this data ingestion, we will be using Apache Hive, and you'll be importing the weblog data from the local file directory into HDFS. So the first step definitely involves downloading the file, and you create a folder in Cloudera, somewhere convenient for you to access the files, and you put it there. So if you look at the file, you can see that there are 5 components here: the timestamp, the IP, the get HTTP response to pull out the web page from the server, the URL, as you can see here, as well as the HTTP port request number. So before that, we need to upload the downloaded data into HDFS. So that's what I'm going to do now. So let's go to terminal, paste. So it will be loaded. So just to make sure that the files are there in the parent directory, we can do a quick check. There it is. So as you can see, I'm using a different folder for this data set, HDFS. The reason being, I do not want a single folder with a single point of failure in case I accidentally delete the folder. So to create the table in Hive, you would need to define the table schema, which is the weblogs table as requested by the project. And there are 3 columns here that we need to take note of: the date, time, timestamp, the IP, and the URL strings. And keep in mind the header as well. So you're going to run this in Hive. So just paste this, and you should get something like, yep. So if you go to weblogs, you'll see the table. Yeah, so that's about it. We don't have any data here. Next, we need to create a temporary weblog table, because if you look at the data set, this is definitely not going to be an easy task, because there are a lot of delimiters at play here, and we're going to export this as a string. So you need to create a table, temporary table, and it's done. So it will be literally 1 column pulling the data as a string. So coming back to the tutorial, we're going to load from the file path in the local directory using the data local inpath method. In Hive, you can do this without getting it from HDFS, so it just saves a bit of time here. So I'm going to drag this data into temp.weblogs, and yep. So here you go. You see this information as a single data string. So coming to the file import process into the Hive table, we will now need to override the weblogs table with the data from the temp weblogs that we have saved earlier. But before that, we would need to split the data string. And as you can see, the first part which is required here is the date time stamp. So over here you can see the date information, the time information, as well as this information here, which is the GMT hours that you need to add on. So this part we don't need it. So if you look at the distribution of the information, you can see this is one part. This is the second part. The third part is the IP address. The fourth part is the HTTP response. And the fifth part is the URL. So we need to concatenate the time and the dates, as you see here. So that's the purpose of this string, and why we need to do it likewise. So we will continue to do the splitting for the IP address, which is this part, the third part of the data string, and the fifth part is the URL. So that sums up the breakdown of the data string. So coming back here, let me go to Hive again, execute the command, and we should be able to pull out the data in the correct format. So the data is copied here. We're going to web logs. So just take note that it would have to be refreshed before you can see the changes. I'm going to go here under the sample analysis. You see the date time, the IP and the URL separated beautifully.